How are you guys doing? Today is Saturday, August 7th, 2021. I'm James Sims, and for this episode of The Elite, I'm going to review the Elite matchups and performances from yesterday, Friday, August 6th. And of course, I'm going to preview everything that's going on today as we navigate through the world of sports one day at a time. Yesterday was the first day of international soccer as Lille was able to draw against Nantes in the Ligue 1. Neither team was able to get 3 points, but that means the season is completely underway. So, of course, this is a big day in terms of sports because that's day one of that. And then looking forward to what's going on in the rest of out of the other top tier matches. PSG, Paris Saint-Germain will face off against Troyes for their first Ligue 1 matchup of the season. So, of course, Lyon will face off against Brest, as Lyon was one of the top teams in Ligue 1 last season as well. Jumping out to the MLB, what's been going on out there? Starting off in Chicago, the Cubs faced off the White Sox, and the White Sox will pull off the first win of the Chicago Derby, beating the Cubs 8-6 after outscoring the Cubs 4-2 in the 10th inning. For the Chicago Cubs in this matchup, the start was given to Kyle Hendricks. Hendricks allowed 2 earned runs in 6 innings pitched as he struck out 7. The loss would go to the Cubs' penultimate relief pitcher for the day, Manuel Rodriguez. Rodriguez allowed 4 runs and without registering a single out, and with this loss, he's 0-2 on the year. In the Cubs batting lineup, their third baseman, Matt Duffy, would end up going 2 for 5 with a run. Their first baseman, Frank Schwindel, would end up going 2 for 5 with 2 RBIs and 2 runs. Schwindel would hit his second home run of the season in the 10th inning for the team. Then their shortstop, Andrew Romine, would end up going 2 for 5 with 3 RBIs and 2 runs. Andrew Romine would hit his first home run of the season for Chicago yesterday. And for the White Sox, on the other hand, the start was given to Lance Lynn. Lynn allowed 1 earned run in 6 innings pitched as he struck out 8. The win was given to the White Sox elite penultimate relief pitcher, Liam Hendricks. Hendricks allowed no earned runs in 1.1 inning pitch as he struck out 4. With this win, Liam Hendricks is 6-2. He is 6-2 on the season for the Chicago White Sox. In their batting lineup, their center fielder, Adam Engel, would end up going 3 for 5 with a run on the day. And then their elite first baseman, reigning American League MVP, Jose Abreu, would go 2 for 5 with 2 runs. And then the Chicago White Sox catcher for the day, Seby Zavala, would end up going 2 for 4 with an RBI and a run. With this win, the Chicago White Sox are now 64-46. That is the best record in the American League Central, as they've won 5 of their last 10 games. They now sit 9.5 games ahead of the second place Cleveland Indians in their division, and the White Sox are holding on to the 3rd seed in the American League playoff race behind the Rays out east and the Astros out west. With this loss, the Chicago Cubs are now 52-59. That is the 4th best record in the National League Central. They've lost their last 2 games, and they've lost 8 of their last 10. They now trail the Milwaukee Brewers by 14.5 games in the division right now. Jumping out to Baltimore, the Baltimore Orioles hosted the reigning American League champs, the Tampa Bay Rays. The Rays would pull off a 10-6 win, scoring 3 runs in the 6th inning to tie the game at 5. And then they would score 5 runs in the 8th inning to jump out to a big lead that they would run away with for this win. For the Baltimore Orioles in this matchup, the start was given to John Means. Means allowed 2 runs in 5 innings pitched, striking out 5. The loss was given to the Orioles' third relief pitcher on the day, Paul Fry. Fry allowed 3 earned runs without registering an out, and with this loss, he's 4-4 on the season. In the Orioles' batting lineup, their designated hitter, Trey Mancini, would go 2 for 4 with a run. And then their pinch-hitting third baseman, Jorge Mateo, would end up going 2 for 4 on the day. Additionally, their catcher, Pedro Severino, would go 3 for 4 with an RBI and a run. And then their third baseman, Michael Franco, would go 2 for 4 with a run on the day. Going back up, Severino would end up hitting his 9th home run of the season. And for the Tampa Bay Rays, on the other hand, the start was given to Ryan Yarbrough, but Yarbrough would allow 5 earned runs in 5 innings pitched as he struck out 4. The win was given to the Rays' first relief pitcher, Drew Rasmussen, as Rasmussen allowed 1 earned run in 2.1 innings pitched, striking out 1. With this win, Drew Rasmussen is 1-1 on the season. In the Rays' batting lineup, their left fielder, Jordan Luplow, would end up going 2 for 4 with 2 runs on the day. Their elite designated hitter, Nelson Cruz, would go 2 for 6 with 5 RBIs and 2 runs, as Cruz hit his 22nd home run of the year. Their elite young shortstop, Wander Franco, will go 2 for 5 with 2 RBIs and a run. Their right fielder, Manuel Margot, will go 3 for 4 with an RBI and a run. Their catcher, Mike Zunino, will go 2 for 4 with a run. And then their center fielder, Kevin Kiermaier, would end up going 2 for 3 with an RBI and 2 runs. With this win, the Tampa Bay Rays are now 66-44. That is the best record in the American League East, and that's the best record in the American League as they're the only team in the American League that's won at least 60% of their games. They are tied with the Milwaukee Brewers for the second best record in baseball. The Rays have now won their last 2 games, and they've won 6 of their last 10. They now sit 2.5 games ahead of the second-place Boston Red Sox in their division. And like I said, they have the best record in the American League, so they're holding the number 1 seed in the American League playoff picture, sitting ahead of the Astros out west and the Chicago White Sox of the Central. With this loss, the Baltimore Orioles are now 38-70. That is the worst record in the American League East. They've lost their last 3 games. They've lost 6 of their last 10, and they now sit 27 games behind the Tampa Bay Rays in their division at the moment. And they are currently holding on to the worst record in the American League, as they now trail the Tampa Bay Rays by 27 games in the division. Just to give a sense of what the gap in the American League is between the best and worst team is 27 games. Jumping out to Philadelphia, the Philadelphia Phillies hosted the New York Mets, and the Phillies were able to pull off a 4-2 home win after scoring 2 runs in the 8th, thanks to a Bryce Harper 2-run home run to help them get win number 57. For the New York Mets, the start and the loss was given to Marcus Stroman. Stroman allowed 2 earned runs in 5 innings pitched as he struck out 5. With this loss, Marcus Stroman is 7-11 on the year. In the Mets batting lineup, nobody on the team would finish with more than 1 hit. The only player to finish with an RBI was their third baseman, Jonathan Villar. He was finished with a home run. Was Jonathan Villar. He went 1 for 4 with an RBI and a run. He hit his 11th home run of the season. For the Philadelphia Phillies, the start was given to Kyle Gibson, their newest starting pitcher. Gibson allowed 1 earned run in 6 innings pitched as he struck out 3. With this win, Kyle Gibson is 8-3 on the season. The win for the save for the Phillies will go to Ian Kennedy, their other pitcher out of Texas. He would allow 1 earned run in 1 inning pitch as he struck out a batter. And with this save, Ian Kennedy now is 17 on the year. In their batting lineup, their shortstop, Didi Gregorius, would go 2 for 2 with an RBI and a run as he hit his 10th home run of the season. He was the only player on the Phillies with more than 1 hit. And then the Phillies' elite right fielder, former National League MVP Bryce Harper, would end up going 1 for 4 with 2 RBIs and a run as Bryce Harper hit his 19th home run of the season yesterday. With this win, the Philadelphia Phillies are now 57-53. That is the best record in the National League East. They've won their last 6 games, which is the best win streak in the major leagues. They've won 7 of their last 10. They now sit half a game ahead of the second-place New York Mets as they are holding on to the 3rd seed in the National League playoff picture, behind the San Francisco Giants out west and the Brewers in the Central. With this loss, the New York Mets are now 56-53. That is the second-best record in the National League East. They've lost their last 2 games, and they've lost 7 of their last 10. They now trail the Philadelphia Phillies by half a game in the National League East in the division, and they currently trail the San Diego Padres by 5 games for the second National League wildcard seed, as they are the second team on the outside looking in. Jumping out to the Bronx, the New York Yankees hosted the Seattle Mariners, and the Yankees were able to pull up a 3-2 win at home after they were able to tie the game up at 1 in the 8th inning thanks to a sacrifice fly from Aaron Judge. And then after J.P. Crawford would help the Mariners go back up 1 in the 10th, Giancarlo Stanton's RBI single would even it up in the 10th. And then in the 11th, there would be a RBI single from Brett Gardner to give the Yankees win number 60. For the Seattle Mariners in this matchup, the start was given to Marco Gonzalez. He allowed no earned runs and only 3 hits in 6.2 innings pitched as he struck out 5. The loss was given to the Mariners closer, Kenyon Middleton. Middleton allowed 1 run in .2 innings pitched as he struck out a batter. With his loss, he's 0-2 on the year. In the Mariners batting lineup, their first baseman, Ty France, will go 3 for 5. Their second baseman, Abraham Toro, will go 2 for 5 with an RBI for himself. And for the New York Yankees, the start was given to their starting pitcher, Wandy Peralta. Peralta allowed no earned runs. He allowed 2 hits in 1.2 innings pitched as he struck out 2. The win was given to the Yankees closer on the day, Albert Abreu. He allowed no earned runs in 1 inning pitch, and with this win, he's 1-0 on the season. In the Yankees batting lineup, their elite designated hitter, former National League MVP, Giancarlo Stanton, would go 2 for 4 with an RBI. And then their elite shortstop, Gleyber Torres, would go 2 for 5. With this win, the New York Yankees are now 60-49. That is the 3rd best record in the American League East. They've won their last 4 games, and they've won 8 of their last 10. Alongside the Blue Jays and the Angels, they have the best win streak so far in the American League. They've won 5 of they are currently 5.5 games behind the Tampa Bay Rays in their division, and they are currently trailing the Oakland Athletics for the 2nd American League wildcard spot by 1.5 games, as the Yankees are the first team on the outside looking in. With this loss, the Seattle Mariners are now 58-53. That is the 3rd best record in the American League West. They've lost their last 3 games, and they've lost 7 of their last 10. They now trail the Houston Astros by 7.5 games in the division, and they now trail the Oakland Athletics by 4.5 games in the American League wildcard race, as the Mariners are the 3rd team on the outside looking in. Jumping out to Toronto, the Toronto Blue Jays hosted the Boston Red Sox from within their division, and the Blue Jays were able to beat the Red Sox 12-4 after scoring 9 of their 12 runs in the 5th, and then they would score a run in the 6th, 7th, and 8th to run the score up to 12-4. For the Boston Red Sox in this matchup, the start and the loss went to Nate Eovaldi. He allowed 7 earned runs in 4.2 innings pitched as he struck out 4. With this loss, Eovaldi is 9-7 on the season. In the Red Sox batting lineup, their left fielder Alex Verdugo will go 2 for 4 with a run. He was the only player on the team with more than 1 hit. And for the Toronto Blue Jays, the start and the win went to Alek Manoah. He allowed 2 earned runs in 5 innings pitched as he struck out 4 on the day. With his win, he's 4-1 on the year. In their batting lineup, their designated hitter, George Springer, will go 2 for 5 with 3 RBIs on the day. There's all-star second baseman Marcus Semien will go 2 for 5 with a run. Their all-star shortstop Bo Bichette will go 2 for 5 with an RBI and a run for himself. Their right fielder Teoscar Hernandez will go 3 for 5 with 3 RBIs and 2 runs. Their left fielder Lourdes Gurriel Jr. will go 2 for 5 with 2 RBIs and a run as Gurriel Jr. hit his 12th home run of the season. Their catcher for the day, Alejandro Kirk, will go 2 for 3 with an RBI and 2 runs. Their center fielder, Randall Grichuk, will go 2 for 4 with an RBI and 3 runs. And their third baseman, Bravich Valera, would end up going 2 for 4 with an RBI and a run on the day. The Blue Jays will combine for a total of 17 hits. And with this win, the Toronto Blue Jays are now 58-49. That is the 4th best record in the American League East. They've won their last 4 games. They've won 8 of their last 10. And they now trail the Tampa Bay Rays by 6.5 games in the division. And they currently trail the Oakland Athletics by 2.5 games for the 2nd spot in the wild card race, as the Blue Jays are the 2nd team on the outside looking in, as they currently trail the Yankees as well. And then with this loss, the Boston Red Sox are now 64-47. That is the second best record in the American League East, as they've lost their last 2 games. They've lost 8 of their last 10. They now trail the Tampa Bay Rays by 2.5 games in the division, as they are still holding on to the top wild card spot in the American League, sitting a game and a half ahead of the second place Oakland Athletics. Jumping out to Cleveland, the Cleveland Indians hosted the Detroit Tigers from within their own division, and the Indians were able to pull up a 6-1 win, scoring all 6 of their runs in the 3rd and 4th innings. For the Detroit Tigers in this matchup, the start and the loss went to Matt Manning. Manning allowed 6 earned runs in 4 innings pitched as he struck out 3. With this loss, he's 2-5 on the season. In the Tigers batting lineup, their left fielder Akil Baddoo would go 2 for 4 with a run, and then their first baseman Jonathan Schoop would go 2 for 4. For the Cleveland Indians, the start and the win went to Cal Quantrill. He allowed no earned runs in 4 hits in 7 innings pitched as he struck out 10. With this win, Cal Quantrill is 3-2 on the season, and the save would go to Emmanuel Clase. He would allow no earned runs in .2 innings pitched as he struck out both of the batters he had to face. Clase picked up his 15th save of the season, and in the Indians batting lineup, their center fielder from Houston, Miles Straw, will go 3 for 5 with 2 RBIs on the day. Their first baseman, Bobby Bradley, would end up going 2 for 2 with 2 RBIs on the day. Their left fielder, Harold Ramirez, would end up going 2 for 4 as well. Their catcher, Austin Hedges, would end up going 2 for 4 with 2 runs. And then their third baseman, Ernie Clement, would end up going 3 for 4 with 2 runs. With this win, the Cleveland Indians are now 53-54. That is the second best record in the American League Central, as they've won 4 of their last 10 games. They now trail the Chicago White Sox by 9.5 games in the division. With this loss, the Detroit Tigers are now 53-59. That is the third best record in the American League Central. They've lost 4 of their last 10 games, as they now trail the Chicago White Sox by 12 games in the division. Jumping out to Cincinnati, the Cincinnati Reds hosted the Pittsburgh Pirates from within their division, and the Reds were able to pull off a 10-0 home shutout after scoring 9 runs in the first 2 innings. For the Pittsburgh Pirates, the start and the loss went to JT Brubaker. Brubaker allowed 9 runs in 5 innings pitched as he struck out 5. With this loss, JT Brubaker is now 4-11 on the season. In the Pirates batting lineup, their third baseman, Ke'Bryan Hayes, would go 2 for 4. And then their second baseman in this matchup, Rodolfo Castro, would end up going 2 for 4 on the season. For the Cincinnati Reds, the start and the win was given to Wade Miley. He allowed no earned runs and 6 hits in 7 innings pitched as he struck out 5. With this win, Wade Miley is 9-4 on the season. In the Reds batting lineup, their left fielder Jesse Winker would go 2 for 2 with an RBI and 2 runs as Winker hit his 22nd home run of the season. Their third baseman Mike Moustakas would go 3 for 4 with 2 RBIs and 2 runs. And then their shortstop Kyle Farmer would go 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs and a run. With this win, the Cincinnati Reds are now 59-51. That is the second best record in the National League Central. They've won their last 3 games, and they've won 8 of their last 10. They now trail the Milwaukee Brewers by 7 games in the division, and they trail the San Diego Padres for the second National League wildcard spot by 2.5 games. With this loss, the Pittsburgh Pirates are now 41-69. That is the worst record in the National League Central, as they've lost their last 3 games and they've lost 7 of their last 10. The Pirates now trail the Milwaukee Brewers by 25 games in the division at the moment. Jumping out to Atlanta, the Atlanta Braves hosted the Washington Nationals, and the Braves were able to pull off an 8-4 home win. And for the Washington Nationals in this matchup, the start and the loss went to Eric Fedde. Fedde allowed 5 runs in 4.2 innings pitched as he struck out 3. With this loss, Fedde is 4-8 on the year. In the Nats batting lineup, their left fielder, Yadiel Hernandez, would end up going 2 for 4 with a run. He was the only player on the team with more than 1 hit. For the Atlanta Braves, on the other hand, the start was given to Kyle Muller. He allowed 3 earned runs in 4.2 innings pitched as he struck out 3. The win was given to the Braves' first relief pitcher, Edgar Santana. Santana allowed no earned runs in .1 inning pitch as he struck out 1. With this win, he's 2-0 on the year. In the Braves batting lineup, their elite first baseman and reigning National League MVP, Freddie Freeman, would end up going 3 for 4 with 2 RBIs and 2 runs for himself. Their third baseman, Austin Riley, would end up going 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs and a run. And their left fielder, Adam Duvall, will go 2 for 3 with 3 RBIs. With this win, the Atlanta Braves are now 56-54. That is the third best record in the National League East. They've won their last 4 games, and they've won 7 of their last 10. They currently trail the Philadelphia Phillies by a game in the division at the moment. With this loss, the Washington Nationals are now 49-61. That is the fourth best record in the National League East. They've lost their last 5 games. That is currently the worst losing streak in the National League, and that's actually the worst record in all of the majors at the moment. They've lost 7 of their last 10, and they now trail the Philadelphia Phillies by 8 whole games in the division. Jumping out to Houston, the Houston Astros hosted the Minnesota Twins, and the Twins were able to pull off a 5-4 win after outscoring the Astros 2-1 in extra innings, thanks to an RBI single from Josh Donaldson. For the Houston Astros, the start was given to former American League Cy Young winner Zach Greinke. He allowed 3 earned runs in 6 innings pitched as he struck out 3. The loss was given to the Astros closer for the day, Rafael Montero. He allowed 1 run in 1 inning pitch as he struck out a batter. With his loss, he's 5-4. In the Astros batting lineup, their designated hitter, Michael Brantley, will go 2 for 5. Their left fielder, Yordan Alvarez, will go 3 for 5 with an RBI. Their center fielder, Chas McCormick, would go 2 for 5 with an RBI and 2 runs, and McCormick would hit his 11th home run of the season. For the Minnesota Twins, the start was given to Bailey Ober. He allowed 3 earned runs in 5 innings pitched as he struck out 5. The win was given to the Twins' closer for the day, Juan Minaya. Minaya allowed no earned runs in 1.1 innings pitched as he struck out 2. With his win, Minaya is 2-0 on the year. In the Twins' batting lineup, nobody on the team would finish with more than 1 hit, but their catcher on the day, Mitch Garver, will go 1 for 5 with an RBI and a run. He hit his 13th home run of the season. With this win, the Minnesota Twins are now 47-63. That is the worst record in the American League Central. They've won their last 2 games, and they've won 5 of their last 10, and they are still holding on to the third worst record in the American League. They now trail the Chicago White Sox by 17 games in the division. With this loss, the Houston Astros are now 65-45. That is the best record in the American League West. They've lost their last 3 games, and they've lost 6 of their last 10. They still sit 3 games ahead of the second-place Oakland Athletics in the division, and they are holding on to the second seed in the American League at the moment, sitting behind the Rays out east and sitting ahead of the Chicago White Sox of the Central. Jumping out to Milwaukee, the leaders of the NL Central, Milwaukee Brewers, hosted the San Francisco Giants, a team that is currently holding the best record in the National League. And in this matchup, the Brewers would pick up the home win 2-1 after walking off with a single in the 10th inning thanks to Rowdy Tellez. For the San Francisco Giants, the start was given to Logan Webb. Logan Webb would allow 1 earned run in 6 innings pitched as he struck out 9 on the day. The loss would go to the Giants' closer, Harlan Garcia. Garcia allowed 1 run without registering an out. With his loss, he's 3-3 on the year. In the Giants' batting lineup, nobody on the team would finish with more than 1 hit. But their first baseman, Brandon Belt, would go 1 for 4 with an RBI and a run as Belt hit his 12th home run of the season for the only run of the day for San Francisco. For the Milwaukee Brewers, the start was given to their all-star starting pitcher, Corbin Burnes. Burnes allowed 1 earned run in 7 innings pitched as he struck out 5. The win was given to the Brewers' closer, Brent Suter. Suter allowed no earned runs in 1 inning pitch as he struck out 2. With his win, he's 11-5 on the season. In the Brewers' batting lineup, their first baseman, Rowdy Tellez, was the only player on the team with more than 1 hit as he went 2 for 4 with an RBI. With this win, the Milwaukee Brewers are now 66-44. That is the best record in the National League Central. They've won their last 2 games, and they've won 8 of their last 10. They currently sit 7 games ahead of the second-place Cincinnati Reds in their division as they are holding on to the second seed in the National League at the moment, trailing the San Francisco Giants out west and sitting ahead of the Philadelphia Phillies out east. With this loss, the San Francisco Giants are now 69-41. That is the best record in the National League West. That is still the best record in the National League, and that is currently the best record in all of baseball. They've lost 4 of their last 10 games as they currently sit 4 games ahead of the second-best Los Angeles Dodgers in their division. And the Dodgers also have these third best record in the National League, to give a sense of how good the top two teams in that division are. And right now, like I said, because they have the best record in the National League, they are holding the number 1 seed in the National League at the moment, sitting ahead of the Milwaukee Brewers of the Central and the Philadelphia Phillies out east. Jumping out to St. Louis, the St. Louis Cardinals hosted their in-state inter-league rival, the Kansas City Royals, and the Cardinals were able to beat the Royals 4-2 as they scored all 4 of their runs in the first 5 innings. For the Royals, the start and the loss was given to Mike Minor. Minor allowed 4 earned runs in 5 innings pitched as he struck out 7. With this loss, he's 8-10 on the season. In the Royals batting lineup, their right fielder Ryan O'Hearn would go 2-for-3 on the day as we finished with an RBI and a run on the day. And for the St. Louis Cardinals, the start and the win was given to Adam Wainwright. He allowed 2 earned runs in 7 innings pitched as he struck out 6. With this win, he's 10-6 on the season, and the save was given to the Cardinals closer Alex Reyes. Reyes allowed no earned runs in 1 inning pitch as he struck out a batter. He picked up his 25th save of the year. In the Cardinals batting lineup, their elite first baseman Paul Goldschmidt would end up going 2-for-4 with 2 RBIs and a run. Goldschmidt would hit his 18th home run of the season. Their left fielder Tyler O'Neill would go 4-for-4 with an RBI and 2 runs as he hit his 18th home run of the season. And with this win, the St. Louis Cardinals are now 54-55. That is the third best record in the National League Central as they've won 5 of their last 10 games. They now trail the Milwaukee Brewers by 11.5 games in the division at the moment. And with this loss, the Kansas City Royals are now 47-61. That is the 4th best record in the American League Central as they've lost 6 of their last 10 games. They now trail the Chicago White Sox by 16 games in the division. Jumping out to Denver, the home of the 2021 All-Star game, the Colorado Rockies hosted the Miami Marlins at the National League East, and the Rockies were able to beat the Marlins 14-2 after scoring 9 runs in the 4th inning. For the Miami Marlins in this matchup, the start and the loss was given to Sandy Alcantara. Alcantara allowed 10 earned runs in 3.2 innings pitched as he struck out 1 batter on the day. With this loss, Sandy Alcantara is 6-10 on the season. In the Miami Marlins batting lineup, nobody on the team would finish with more than 1 hit on the day as their shortstop Miguel Rojas would go 1-for-4 with an RBI and a run. He hit his 6th home run of the season. For the Colorado Rockies, the start was and the win was given to German Marquez. Marquez allowed no earned runs on only 2 hits in 6 innings pitched as he struck out 7. With this win, German Marquez is 10-8 on the season. In the Rockies batting lineup, their second baseman Brendan Rodgers would go 2-for-5 with an RBI and 2 runs. Brendan Rodgers would go on to have a pretty good game for himself. Additionally, in their batting lineup, their elite right fielder Charlie Blackmon would go 2-for-3 with 2 RBIs and a run. Charlie Blackmon would hit his 7th home run of the season. Their shortstop Trevor Story would go 2-for-3 with an RBI and a run. Their first baseman C.J. Cron would go 2-for-3 with 4 RBIs and 4 runs as C.J. Cron hit his 15th and 16th home runs of the season. Their catcher Elias Diaz would end up going 2-for-5 with an RBI and 2 runs as Diaz hit his 13th home run of the season. And their center fielder Sam Hilliard would go 3-for-5 with an RBI and a run. With this win, the Colorado Rockies are now 49-61. That is the 4th best record in the National League West. They've won their last 2 games, and they've won 6 of their last 10. They now trail the San Francisco Giants by 20 games in the division to give a sense of where the Rockies are. And with this loss, the Miami Marlins are now 47-63. That is the worst record in the National League East, and that is the 3rd worst record in the National League. They've lost 6 of their last 10 games, and they now trail the Philadelphia Phillies by 10 games in the division at the moment. Jumping out to the Bay Area, the Oakland A's hosted the Texas Rangers from within their division, and the A's were able to pull off a 4-1 win in extra innings after winning off of a 3-run walk-off home run from Starling Marte, their newest addition. One of their newest additions. For the Texas Rangers in this matchup, the start went to Mike Foltynewicz. Foltynewicz allowed 1 earned run in 6 innings pitches. He only allowed 2 hits. He struck out 2 on the day. The loss for the Rangers would go to their closer, Jimmy Hergé. Hergé would allow 3 runs without registering a single out, and with this loss, he's now 0-1 on the season. In the Rangers batting lineup, their shortstop Isaiah Kiner-Falefa would be the only player on the team with more than 1 hit. He went 3 for 5 with an RBI for the day. For the Oakland Athletics, the start was given to Chris Bassitt. Bassitt allowed 1 earned run and he only allowed 5 hits in 7 innings pitches. He struck out 8. The win, however, was given to the A's closer for the day, Yusmeiro Petit. Petit allowed no earned runs in 1 inning pitch as he struck out 1, and with his win, Petit is 8-1 on the season. In the A's batting lineup, their center fielder, Starling Marte, would end up going 2 for 5 with 3 RBIs and a run as he hit his 9th home run of the season. With this win, the Oakland Athletics are now 62-48. That is the second best record in the American League West as they've won their last 2 games and they've won 6 of their last 10. They now trail the Houston Astros by 3 games in the division, and they are holding on to the second American League wildcard spot, trailing the Boston Red Sox by 1.5 games for the first spot, and they sit 1.5 games ahead of the New York Yankees, who are the first team on the outside looking in from that respect. With this loss, the Texas Rangers are now 39-71. That is the worst record in the American League West and the second worst record in the American League. They've lost their last 4 games and they've lost 6 of their last 10. They now trail the Houston Astros by 26 games in the division. Jumping out to Dodger Stadium, the Los Angeles Dodgers hosted the Los Angeles Angels in the Los Angeles Showdown. And in this matchup, the Angels would beat the Dodgers 4-3 in extra innings, thanks to a RBI single from Jack Mayfield to double the Angels' lead. The Dodgers would only be able to score 1 in the bottom of the 10th. It wouldn't be enough, and the Angels would run away with it. For the Los Angeles Dodgers in this matchup, the start was given to former American League MVP David Price. He allowed 2 earned runs in 5.1 innings pitches. He struck out 4. The loss was given to the Dodgers' penultimate relief pitcher, Garrett Cleavinger. Cleavinger allowed 2 runs in 0.1 inning pitch, and with his loss, he's 2-4 on the year. In the Dodgers batting lineup, their elite right fielder, Mookie Betts, would go 2 for 3 with an RBI and a run. Their second baseman, Max Muncy, would go 2 for 5 as well. And for the Los Angeles Angels, the start was given to Patrick Sandoval. He allowed 2 earned runs in 5 innings pitches. He struck out 4. The win was given to the Angels' penultimate relief pitcher, Austin Warren. Warren allowed no earned runs and only 1 hit in 2.1 innings pitched as he was unable to strike out a batter. But with this win, he's 1-0 on the year. And save number 24 would be given to Raisel Iglesias. Iglesias allowed 1 run in 1 inning pitch as he struck out a batter. That would be save number 24 of the season for him. In the Angels batting lineup, their second baseman, David Fletcher, will go 2 for 5. Their shortstop, Jose Iglesias, would go 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs and 2 runs as he hit his 8th home run of the season. And then their third baseman, Jack Mayfield, will go 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs and a run as he hit his 7th home run of the season. With this win, the Los Angeles Angels are now 56-54. That is the 4th best record in the American League West as they've won their last 4 games and they've won 6 of their last 10. They are tied with the Yankees and the Blue Jays for the best win streak in the American League. At the moment, they trail the Houston Astros by 9 games in the division. With this loss, the Los Angeles Dodgers are now 65-45. That is the second best record in the National League West. They've lost 5 of their last 10 games as they now trail the San Francisco Giants by 4 games in the division. And at the moment, they're holding on to the top seed in the National League wildcard race, sitting 3.5 games ahead of the second place San Diego Padres. Jumping out to San Diego, speak of the devil, the San Diego Padres hosted the Arizona Diamondbacks, and the Diamondbacks were able to beat the Padres 8-5 after the Padres scored all 5 of their runs in the second inning, and then the Arizona Diamondbacks would score all 8 of their runs in the third and fourth inning, scoring 6 in the fourth to come from behind, take the lead, and run away with the win. For the San Diego Padres, the start and the loss went to Ryan Weathers. Weathers allowed 6 earned runs in 3 innings pitches. He struck out a batter. With his loss, he's 4-4 on the season. In the Padres batting lineup, their second baseman, Adam Frazier, would go 2 for 4 with a run. Their catcher, Austin Nola, will go 2 for 3 with a run as well. And then their center fielder, Trent Grisham, will go 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs and a run. Trent Grisham hit his 12th home run of the season. And for the Arizona Diamondbacks, the start was given to Caleb Smith. Caleb Smith allowed 5 earned runs in 1.1 inning pitch as he struck out 2. The win was given to the Diamondbacks' first relief pitcher, Matt Peacock. Peacock allowed no earned runs in 4.2 innings pitched as he struck out 4. With this win, Peacock is 5-6 on the year, and the save will go to the Diamondbacks closer for the day, Sean Poppen. Poppen allowed no earned run and only 1 hit in 2 innings pitched as he struck out 1. With this win, Poppen has his first save of the year. And in the Diamondbacks batting lineup, their shortstop Nick Ahmed will go 2 for 5 with 3 RBIs and a run. Their center fielder Ketel Marte will go 2 for 5 with an RBI. Their catcher Carson Kelly would end up going 2 for 4 with a run for himself. And then their left fielder Pavin Smith would end up going 2 for 4 with an RBI and 2 runs on the day. And with this win, the Arizona Diamondbacks are now 35-76. That is the worst record in the National League West. And that is still the worst record in the National League and the worst record in the majors. They've won 4 of their last 10 games as they now trail the San Francisco Giants by 34.5 games in the division, just to show what the gap is between the worst and best teams in the MLB. And with this loss, the San Diego Padres are now 62-49. That is the 3rd best record in the National League West as they've lost their last 2 games and they've lost 6 of their last 10. They now trail the San Francisco Giants by 7.5 games in the division. And holding on to the 2nd spot in the National League wild card, they trail the Los Angeles Dodgers by 3.5 games for the 1st seed. And they sit 2.5 games ahead of the Cincinnati Reds, who are the 1st team on the outside looking in. So like I said, that is what the MLB is looking like, especially as we lead into today. With today being Saturday, not much of a travel game starting from the very top at 1:05. Andrew Heaney and the New York Yankees are going to host Chris Flexen and the Seattle Mariners. Chris Flexen is coming into this 1 o'clock matchup holding a 10-5 record alongside a 3.75 ERA. At 2:20, Adbert Alzolay and the Chicago Cubs are going to host Carlos Rodon and the Chicago White Sox in the Chicago matchup. And Carlos Rodon will enter this matchup with an 8-5 record alongside a 2.49 ERA. At 3:07, it'll be the first game of the doubleheader in Toronto as the Blue Jays will host the Boston Red Sox. In this matchup, Robbie Ray is going to host Nick Pivetta. Robbie Ray comes into this matchup with a 9-5 record alongside a 3.04 ERA. Game 2 of this doubleheader will be played at 7:07 as Jose Barrios is looking to make the start for Toronto as he starts against Tanner Houck of the Boston Red Sox. Jose Barrios enters this matchup with an 8-5 record alongside a 3.31 ERA. At 4:05 on FS1, Ranger Suarez and the Philadelphia Phillies are going to host Tyler McGill and the New York Mets. Ranger Suarez starts this matchup with a 5-3 record alongside a 1.04 ERA. At 4:07, Cole Irvin and the Oakland Athletics are going to host Drew Anderson and the Texas Rangers. Cole Irvin enters this matchup with a 7-10 record alongside a 3.50 ERA. At 7:05, Spencer Watkins and the Baltimore Orioles are going to host Shane McClanahan and the Tampa Bay Rays, who are currently sitting on top of the American League East. Coming into this matchup, Shane McClanahan is currently holding on to a 5-4 record alongside a 3.74 ERA. At 7:10, Eli Morgan and the Cleveland Indians are going to host Tyler Alexander and the Detroit Tigers. At the same time, at 7:10, Luis Garcia and the Houston Astros are going to host Michael Pineda and the Minnesota Twins. Pineda enters his matchup with a 4-6 record alongside a 3.89 ERA. Luis Garcia enters his matchup with a 7-6 record alongside a 3.49 ERA. Also at 7:10, Vladimir Gutierrez and the Cincinnati Reds are going to host Mitch Keller and the Pittsburgh Pirates. At 7:10 at the same time, Brandon Woodruff, the all-star starting pitcher for the Milwaukee Brewers, is going to face off against Aaron Sanchez of the San Francisco Giants as the 2 top seeds in the National League face off against one another. Brandon Woodruff enters this matchup with a 7-6 record alongside a 2.26 ERA. At 7:15, Kwang Hyun Kim and the St. Louis Cardinals are going to host Brad Keller and the Kansas City Royals in the Missouri Showdown. Kwang Hyun Kim enters his matchup with a 6-6 record alongside a 3.31 ERA. At 7:20, Charlie Morton and the Atlanta Braves are going to host Josiah Gray and the Washington Nationals. Charlie Morton enters this matchup with a 10-4 record alongside a 3.69 ERA for the Atlanta Braves thus far. At 8:10, Austin Gomber and the Colorado Rockies are going to host Jesus Luzardo and the Miami Marlins. And then at 8:40, the San Diego Padres, led by their elite starting pitcher, Yu Darvish, are going to host Taylor Widener in the Arizona Diamondbacks. And Yu Darvish will enter this matchup with a 7-6 record alongside a 3.48 ERA. And then last but not least, at 9:10, it will be the Los Angeles Interleague matchup as Julio Urias and the Los Angeles Dodgers host Jaime Barria and the Los Angeles Angels. Julio Urias enters his matchup with a 13-3 record alongside a 3.40 ERA. So that's what baseball is looking like. And then last but not least, taking a look at what's been going on with the Olympics with day 14, because of course with the time zone and all, day 14 is officially complete. And starting from the very top in the beach volleyball competition, the women's gold will end up going to the United States. The team of Alex Kleinman and April Ross was able to beat the Australian team of Taliqua Clancy and Mariaf Artacho de Solar. Sorry if I butchered the name. And that was the gold medal match. In boxing, and the men's heavyweight gold will go to Julio La Cruz of Cuba as he beat Muslim Gazimagomedov of the Russian Olympic Committee. As that was, so of course he took the gold in that. In the cycling events, the gold for men's sprint will go to Harry Lavrieson of the Netherlands, as the silver went to Jeffrey Hoogland of the Netherlands as well. In the women's Madison event, the gold medal will go to Great Britain, the duo of Katie Archibald and Laura Kenny. In women's field hockey, the gold medal went to Netherlands, as Netherlands was able to beat Argentina in the gold medal match. In the karate events, the gold medal for men's kumite for 75 kilograms went to Luigi Busa of Italy, as silver went to Rafael Agayev of Azerbaijan. In the men's kata event, gold went to Ryo Kiyuna of Japan, as he was able to defeat Damian Quintero of Spain for the medal. In the women's kumite for the 61 kilograms, the gold went to Jovana Prekovic of Serbia, as she was able to defeat Zhao Yanyin of China. In the women's modern pentathlon, Kate French would end up getting the gold for Great Britain. In women's soccer, the Canadian team was able to beat Sweden in a shootout, as the United States took bronze. In sports climbing, the gold medal for the women's combined event went to Janja Garnbret of Slovenia. In table tennis, the men's team gold went to China, as China was able to beat Germany for silver. In the track and field events, the men's 4x100 meter relay gold went to Italy, as second went to Great Britain, and bronze went to Canada. In the men's 5K, gold medal went to Joshua Cheptegei of Uganda. And the men's 50-kilometer race walk, the gold medal went to Dawid Tamala of Poland. In the women's 4x100 meter relay, the gold medal went to Jamaica, as the silver went to United States and the bronze went to Great Britain. In the women's 1,500 meters, the gold went to Faith Kipyegon of Kenya. The silver went to Laura Muir of Great Britain, and Sifan Hassan of the Netherlands would end up taking the bronze. In the women's 20K race walk, the gold was given to Antonella Palmisano of Italy. In the women's 400 meter, the gold was given to Shanae Miller-Weibo of the Bahamas. And the women's javelin gold medal was given to Xiying Liu of China. And then in the wrestling events, the men's freestyle 125-kilogram gold went to Gable Steveson from the United States, as he was able to defeat Gino Petriashvili of Georgia in the final seconds. In the men's freestyle for 74 kilograms, the gold went to Zarbek Sidakov of the Russian Olympic Committee, as he was able to beat Mohamed Khabib Kazimahmedov of Belarus. Sorry if I butchered the name. And then last but not least, women's freestyle for 53 kilometer, the gold medal will go to Mayu Mukaida of Japan, as she was able to beat Shan Yu Peng of China in the gold medal. And then also going back up to the 400 meters, Allison Felix was able to win the bronze, and she was able to tie Carl Lewis for the most track and field medals at the Olympic Games for a U.S. athlete. She now has 10. But with that said, that's virtually everything that's going on with sports, especially as we go into today. And also looking into soccer, PSG will get their first game started. I'm not sure Messi's gonna play in their very first game, but we're gonna see how sports are going to line up day by day following this. But with that said, I want to thank everyone for listening to all 44 minutes of this piece. I hope all is well. Once again, today is Saturday, August 7th, 2021, out here in this quarantine. And once all of today's matchups and exhibitions are done, I will come back tomorrow for another installment of The Elite. But until then, I want to thank everyone for listening to this piece. I hope all is well, and peace out. I'll catch you with another episode tomorrow.